So the true God. Let's see. Naruto the True God Part 3. Let's get directly into that booty. I actually mean this episode. Recap. Basically, Naruto and his girlfriend, got out of Thacia, and Naruto and his girlfriend, were now, since they're out of Thacia, they have to face I'm just kidding, but since Naruto and his girlfriend and Kurama are finally out of Thacia, they arrive at the third Hokage's home. Let's get directly in there, shove a Shindori up there. You know what I mean? If you ain't shoving the Shindori up there, then she for the streets. I tell you, that's all I'm gonna tell you. All right, that's all I have to say. If you ain't shoving your Shindori up there, then she is for the streets. Let's get directly into this video. Naruto. The third Hokage looked at Naruto with wide eyes. He then noticed that Naruto's body was growing rapidly. In fact, it was growing so quickly that it was incredible until it finally stopped. Naruto looked as if he was 13 years old. Naruto! The third Hokage said while looking forward. You're alive? How? Naruto said while looking. The third Hokage said while looking at Naruto. Naruto then shifted, looking around to examine his surroundings. He then shifted, grabbing onto the blade by his side. We have a minor flashback. The ritual. You require 2,000 souls. The souls of 20,000. That is the power necessary to leap between realities. Alright. With enough energy, I'm sure that your dojutsu can do this in its sleep. the a tall phoenix said, I have lived since the dawn of time itself. Although I am rebirth, I always come back to life. Said man who looked forward, surprised. What? What do you mean? I've already become a god. Wait, never mind. Let me rethink. Since I would be considered to be a primordial deity, I could possibly shift you over to the reality. But I would weaken myself. And why should I weaken myself when I can use that power to to further grow this grand land? The, the phoenix said while looking down at Naruto. How about if I give you enough power to do so? I guess that could work, the phoenix said while looking towards Naruto. You require 1,000 souls for one person. You require 2,000. But if you want to send a person from a different world to your world, it will require 18,000 souls. What? Why so high? Because the essence should immediately fly back to its reality. In grabbing someone from a different reality, from another reality, would naturally cost far too much power. In redirecting them, this would cost me a lot. But you mustn't kill my animals. You can only kill around 200 a year. What? I'll never reach my goal. 200 of a specific species. Well, of that kind. The amount could vary depending on how many of active living members the that kind of that species has. Okay, I'll do it. And with 300,000 different types of species, I'm sure with your natural speed, natural talent, you'll be able to catch some. You'll be able to catch the amount with your current strength in around 200 years. But if you naturally progress at the same rate that you have been, I'm sure that in no less than 20 years, you'll have all that you need. Okay. Flashback over. This took a full, almost 8 minutes to explain. So that means the other couple of minutes is over with. Okay. Dump it in. Alright. Now, Naruto then began. Who are you, strange man? The third Hokage's head of hair had completely fallen out because of stress. And stress also leads to rapid aging. So the third Hokage seemed far older. Naruto! As then Naruto then looked at the man's face, staring at it, focusing on his face, as he then began to realize. GG! Thump! A noise sounded. Then everyone looked up. Rosa, he said. Then Rosa appeared in front of him. Lord, GG. I do not respect you. Naruto acted coldly towards the man. The reason being that he had been having dreams similar to this one before the whole entire event. He didn't want to allow all of his emotions to flood back to him so he could have his heart destroyed again. But he sighed in relief to see that Rosa appeared next to him. He then fell to his knees, crying like a baby. It's really true. Within his dreams, which was fairly similar every time, Rosa appeared in front of him with her bones crushed and piles of her flesh lie on the ground. Naruto one day woke up from this dream within the land, but she calmed him down. Since then he had gotten so used to seeing Rosa, but it still hurt a lot. Naruto. The person said, while looking forward, I'm ready. I'm ready. Rosa said, no. 3 years later, so Naruto was 7 around the time that he got through that. 5. Yeah, 5 years later, Naruto had completely settled. He had joined the academy, and he had became the ace within his class. He was quiet, but once he did things, which he hardly ever did, he completely aced them, surpassing that of Sasuke, which made Sasuke infuriated. The end of the year. test. Rosa, you're up, Mizuki said, as he then remembered. Naruto was right after Rosa, or it was changed to be that way since right after Rosa, no matter how many times he called anyone, Naruto just went after her. It was almost as if he was stalking her, but they seemed to be good friends. So the Mizuki and Iruka just thought it was young love, not knowing that the two had planned to have children with each other and loved each other unconditionally. Come on, Rosa said. No, Naruto said. Rosa then begun. First is the kunai test. Then the shuriken test. And afterward, we're gonna do simple sword. We're gonna be doing simple sword techniques. Iruka said, begin! 10 posts laid before her. She then grabbed onto kunai and threw them with razor sharp precision. They darted through the trees, continuing to go until they hit the jackpot. They had went all the way across the village by the time they had stopped. Good, Iruka said while writing down on a piece of paper. Begin the shuriken test. Then Rosa aced that. Now it is time for the sword test. Rosa knew that she was going to ace this simply because of the fact that she trained with Naruto. Begin. Mizuki then pulled out a sword. Well, also, they have the taijutsu test, by the way. Mizuki pulled out a sword while pointing towards her. He then ran towards her at getting paced and slammed his blade into her sword. As he grew shocked, realizing that no matter how hard he pushed on the blade, her blade did not budge. Even though this was standard, she did it so easily that it pissed off Mizuki. He then began to apply more pressure and power into it. Before a sound could be heard. Mizuki, then instinct. This felt so similar to the standard attack from a gribbling gobbler, from a gribbling thief, from a gribbling roster, which was a human-like animal that murdered and stole food from other animals. These attacks were so common that she gotten so used to getting rid of them, per se. She struck like lightning. Mizuki noticed that she had the speed of a high Joni. He was only a mere chunin. He then knew that his skill, he then thought of possible ways to block, as he then jumped back instead, getting away from the massive swipe that had done. She then began to push forward while swinging her blade. Mizuki was dumbfounded at her strength. He couldn't block. He had no choice but just to block. Her hits felt as heavy. As boulders. With every hit, he felt as if a boulder had just fell onto his sword while he held onto it, but he couldn't let go of it. It was incredible. She then began to swing quicker and quicker and faster. Before long, Mizuki, after the third hit, she had kicked into level 2 swordsman skill. Swordsman power. Level 2 is a category that Naruto and her had created for the level that was needed to take down certain animals. Level 2 was deer level, which required massive amounts of speed. Dashing forward, her blade then finally clanked. Then finally was close to Mizuki's neck. Mizuki felt almost as if he saw death itself in front of him. Before she quickly stopped her blade, looking forward. The fight had progressed so quickly that a weaker level tuning such as Iruka could not see the fight. He only saw blurs. The fight ended. To see Rosa with her blade pointed directly towards his throat, with him having his hands held up forward as if he was trying to block it. Now the taijutsu test. Mizuki's arms hurted so bad, he then said, Hiroka, I think that you should do this portion, as he then fell onto the ground. Alright. After the situation was settled, Mizuki had just taken a chakra pill and a food pill, so he was alright. he felt alright. The battle between Iruka and Rosa. Rosa swung her fist forward, punching Iruka. Her fighting style felt so wild and unrefined. It was almost as if he had been fighting a wild animal. But luckily, he quickly found the closest match to the fighting style. Tiger style? He said while looking surprised. The tiger style flowing fist was a sacred fighting style. And with one hit, marked the beginning of the battle. Bye, guys. That's in this video.